Hello assassins and welcome back to another awesome Creed Mirage video. This time this is gonna be huge. It is gonna be my first ever hands-on preview. Huge thanks to Ubisoft Nordic for providing me this opportunity to play Assassin's Creed Mirage early. But before we are diving any deeper, quick spoiler warning, so if you don't want to see any potential spoilers, now is your chance to click off. Also, if you have any questions after this video, please leave your questions, thoughts, impressions in the comment section down below. But let's go! In this preview session, I was able to play about 2 hours of Assassin's Creed Mirage, and here are my first impressions of the game. But before we do so, note that this is not the final version of the game. I reckon there will be day 1 patch and everything will be polished from this version that I played.
Do not let nostalgia cloud reality, Basim.
I will not. I know nothing stays the same.
Regardless, this not being the final version, I didn't encounter like any major bugs or issues in the game. It was pretty smooth, totally fun. Before my preview session, I actually did play both old school and new RPG titles of Assassin's Creed, just to have a solid comparison point to Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I couldn't help but notice how good it felt to play as Basim. Assassin's Creed Mirage felt like a good healthy mix of old school and new RPG titles, so I wouldn't say it is super heavily leaning towards neither, but something in between, and I absolutely love that fact. As we already know, we will be playing as Basim in his youth in 9th century Baghdad and surrounding areas. In my previous session I wasn't able to discover absolutely everything. I probably cannot answer every single question that you may have, but I will do my best in order to give you the best, most fair point of view from the first impression from this preview session. So, Ubisoft has claimed Basim to be the most agile protagonist that we have had so far, and for sure exploring the city and surrounding areas as Basim was much smoother experience than I was having, for example, with Eivor in England. That fact alone, even though it was only 2 hours of playtime, it made me convinced it is going to be a blast to play this game. Everything from environment to stealth to combat felt really good, pretty polished, even though this is not the final version of the game. Also, I wouldn't make any like straight comparison, for example, to Origins, Odyssey or Valhalla, or any of the older ones. I kinda see Assassin's Creed Mirage as its own thing, which is really good in my opinion. But if I have to choose something, I would say this is like old Assassin's Creed. I would say Assassin's Creed Origins is the closest one from the newer titles. And speaking about the newer titles, if you have played Assassin's Creed Valhalla for example, it will be really easy jump from Valhalla into the Mirage, because these two games have almost exactly the same controls to each other. For example, to sprint, tap L3 once, enter the photo mode, L3 and R3 at the same time, and even the photo mode had slight differences, but for now I let you guys to figure out what the small differences are yourself. Also, many of you have been wondering if Reda or someone similar to him will be in the game. So far I have to say no, because I didn't spot anyone like Reda, Sargon on my playtime. So far I cannot answer this question with 100% certainty. But let's talk a little bit about the main mechanics of the game. Parkour, for example, in Assassin's Creed Mirage, it felt really smooth. We also can parkour in multiple different levels, and what I mean by that, we can run around on the ground level, also on the rooftops, but also we are having beams and other things to parkour in the mid-level, so in middle of the building. Definitely huge improvement from Valhalla. And no, we cannot jump like sideways, side eject like in the older ones, but even with that I really think the parkour was pretty awesome in this game, and I wasn't expecting like complete turnaround from the newer titles. Also, while parkouring, climbing did not feel like a chore like it sometimes did in Valhalla. So far I have been enjoying the climbing in Assassin's Creed Mirage, and oh boy, the new mechanic, the pole vaulting, it was really nice addition to the system. Definitely it is something that I like to use a little bit more, and yes, I did see a couple places where you can do this, so there is not only one or two locations where you can possibly do this, and also they didn't blow everything with pole vaults in the game. I have to make a side point. Originally I wasn't too happy when Mirage was announced to be a standalone and not the planned DLC for Valhalla, but oh brother, I was so wrong even thinking that. The fact they fixed the stealth, made improvements to it, like the cones, I think it was a smart decision to make Assassin's Creed Mirage a standalone instead of a DLC. And what I mean by this, I mean as a standalone, even though Assassin's Creed Mirage is built with the same engine as Valhalla, the devs had a clean table and not the messy one as it would been with the bugs and everything if Mirage would been a DLC instead of standalone. So far what I have seen from my preview session, I totally think it is the worth extra 10 bucks. Alright, let's talk about the combat. It felt engaging. I actually had to think what I was doing. With Eivor, it was like hack and slash, while Basim may not be as tankish as Eivor was. Basim, he can still put up a fight, but I wouldn't stay in close combat situation for too long, so going in full Leroy Jenkins mode in Assassin's Creed Mirage, I would not recommend doing so. Don't get me wrong, definitely close combat can be fun with multiple different animations, finishers. The assassinations will be the most effective way to take out your targets with the help of fixed stealth and parkour. We will also have a nice set of tools, for example noisemakers to distract the guards, smoke bombs which we actually can drop while running away from conflict, or you can use the smoke bombs from the distance and then go into the smoke cloud and take out your targets one by one. Alongside with other tools in our use, I reckon Basim actually could be one of the most deadliest assassins of all time. I asked you guys to ask me questions before I was making this video. Before answering your most burning questions, let's talk a little bit about the world and the environment. In my brutally honest opinion, the environment felt stunning, but outside of the cities and towns, it was beautiful but empty. What I mean by empty, there is actually a chance that I wandered off on my playtime. I had to be guided back on route at some point, and what I noticed, the roads, the fields between the city and the town, yet there wasn't much of life, at least not at this point. I don't know if that is gonna change when the game is released or not, so only time will tell, and I really hope the route I chose was the emptiest and most lifeless one. But like I said, to find out, we actually have to wait until the game is out.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
and before I forget, one major thing, well, not major in that sense, but it will affect your gameplay more than you think. And what I'm talking about, it is the cloth physics. Especially Basim's clothes are moving almost like lifelike in both cutscenes and gameplay, so hashtag no more cardboard physics. I'm really excited about that, and it was actually one thing that caught my eye from the moment I started playing. And let me know in the comments down below what you are thinking about the Mirage so far, and also while you are at there, remember to smash the like button. That would really mean a lot to me. These videos are taking quite a lot of time to make. Also, while you are at it, remember to smash the subscribe button, because there will be so much more incoming regarding Assassin's Creed Mirage. Alright, let's go into the lightning round of your questions. The first question I'm gonna answer: is the story, characters and the world really captivating? And I would have to say, so far, yes. If you have played it, then you can tell me this: can you flick your hidden blade out just whenever you want? And no, I wasn't able to flick my hidden blade on wheel or at any time like in the old Assassin's Creed games. Next question: how much was copy pasted from Valhalla? It is its own game, even though it was supposed to be a DLC. It has been built with the same engine, yet still it is its own game, in my opinion. Alright, moving on. Have you seen the new outfits? If so, can you reveal some of them? And I didn't have the time to do absolutely everything, like I said earlier in this video. So no, I actually didn't go through the outfits. Next one, how is the social stealth, is it good and does it work properly? And what I experienced and saw, it worked absolutely amazingly compared to Valhalla at least. How many similarities from AC Valhalla are in here, such as animations or combat? Of course they use the assets from Valhalla, so biggest difference are not coming from the assassinations, but from the melee combat. Alright, this question was a little bit longer one. I hope there will be as many members of the order like in AC Odyssey or AC Valhalla. I really enjoyed hunting down ancestors of the Templars. This was kind of like a statement, but in a way it was a question. So, because the game is shorter and more linear, there are fewer order members to hunt down, which can be a good thing in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to see the game loaded and only thing to do is the order members. Personally, I just want a perfectly balanced game in my hands at launch. Alright, moving on to a little more broad question, just simply what it's like. That is so broad I have to give you a vague answer, and my answer is I can't wait to play the full game. The next one, how was the settings? Is walking through Baghdad immersive? And from my first impression I would say it was pretty immersive. Let's jump right into the next one. Did you have fun with the game and how did you like the skill tree? And yes, I had absolutely blast playing it for the very first time, although I was running around like a headless chicken and I couldn't decide what to do first, so yeah, some of my time went like that in the game. As some of you already may know, I get distracted super easily when playing the games. And the skill tree, it was very simple. Just in case if we cannot fill up the skill tree completely, I have already selected a couple skills that I'm not gonna upgrade. How was the feeling from Basim from Assassin's Creed Valhalla? And this was actually a pretty good one. In AC Valhalla I first disliked Basim. Later on the idea about his own game did actually grow on me, and the time in Assassin's Creed Mirage that I had with Basim, I would say it was pretty pleasant to play as him. Alright, moving on. Do you think the game is ready for October 5th, or do you think it needs more time in the oven to cook? And honestly, I do believe it is locked and loaded, ready to go with the day 1 patch on 5th of October, which is actually my birthday, and I'm planning to do a live stream if you want to join me there. Almost at the end of the questions. So let's rapid fire. Does it still seems like you have the hidden blade on top of your wrist? The blade will be under Basim's wrist, not on the top.
And I would rather not make the same mistake you two have.
Alright, moving on. So far, is it positive or negative experience? And overall, I would have to say, well, I don't have to say anything, but from my experience, it was positive all around. It might change after like 20 hours, 50 hours, but so far, so good. How does the game make you feel overall? No BS, just honest opinion. And my honest opinion, based on the 2 hours I played, it felt good. It felt so much different from Valhalla. I would say, in all honesty, it is too early to say. Alright, second last question. Like AC Brotherhood, call on ally feature or even a higher mechanic? So far, I don't think there is any call ally features, but with the tokens that you can, for example, steal, earn, and talking about the stealing, huge credits goes to Joe Raptor, who was predicting this. Definitely the same mechanic that was the assassination mechanic in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but now it is even more fun, huge triangle. We have to time our pickpocket right, and what is gonna happen if I miss it. But this way we can get tokens, but also we can get money or trinkets. But yeah, with tokens we can hire fighters. At least I think these guys were fighters, but I didn't have the tokens at the time, so I won't say I'm 100% sure, I will say I'm 99% sure. Alright, moving on to the last question. Are there any similarities to the original AC games? And in my opinion, yes. Like the parkouring, it was much more like in the old ones. It was smoother, faster than in the newer titles. But don't get your hopes up, Creed Mirage won't be exactly like the old games. So, if you feel I left something out, please let me know in the comments down below. Before ending this video, huge shout out to my channel members, you guys are so awesome, and to everybody else, consider joining the channel, you are getting some fun perks like custom emojis, early access to some of my videos. But for now, let's roll the outro.
Do you think we need luck? There is a rot in Karch, treasurer. Property stolen, merchants extorted, foreigners tormented. Corruption is rank and everywhere. But you are at its heart. Even now, your poison spreads along the East Road to lands untouched by the Order's venom. I hear you hunger for a hairpin. One up for auction at the Da'irat al-Mal. I will play the rival for your heart's desire and draw you from the shadows.
Thanks for watching. Remember to hit the like, hit the sub, turn on the notifications so you won't ever miss anything that I upload or when I go live. Also Wolfpack, have fun, stay safe, be strong, hope to see you in the next one. Skatha, over and out, and bye bye.